Hey guys, today on People Now, inside the split in the royal court between William, Kate, Harry, and Meghan, what was the original plan and what comes next?
Hugh Jackman reveals the secret to his 23-year marriage and keeping the intimacy alive.
New details on what the $36 billion Jeff Bezos divorce settlement now means for his ex-wife Mackenzie.
Will you accept these bros?
Will Pauly D and Vinny G from Jersey Shore find love on their new dating show?
Plus, Dr. Sanjay Gupta has been around the world chasing the secrets to life. Now he's here with tips for us to live better.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome to People Now. Happy Wednesday. Cannot wait for Pauly and Vinny.
So excited.
Yeah, we're going to be a lot of fun
So
with
pumped
them
for that.
and so much more. Everyone's favorite couple, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, they were front row for an NBA game Tuesday when their night took a little bit of a viral turn.
So Miami Heat player Dwyane Wade was playing the final home game of his career when he stopped near the sidelines, framed up, took a shot, then fell completely backwards onto Chrissy and John. They were grimacing, drinks were flying everywhere. Dwyane was still totally focused. John Legend actually tweeted a selfie video in the aftermath. Take a look at this. I think we have it.
Yeah.
Still got my drink.
I mean, they're good sports about that
Yeah.
moment. That could have ruined some couples' night.
Yeah, they were
right?
all laughs there. Look, that's kind of part of the reason you're even on the front row, right?
Oh, yeah.
You want a moment like that. You're in the game. Gabrielle Union, Dwyane Wade's wife, also posted on Instagram. John Legend did not, I repeat, did not drop his drink, and this is why we are friends. Dinner's on us in LA.
It's
that was
very
her post.
impressive. So to celebrate their latest viral moment, we want to see your favorite John Legend and Chrissy Teigen gifts. You can feature both of them, just John, just Chrissy, whatever you want. Send in those gifts with the hashtag PeopleNow. You might see them on the show.
We're going to check in on those later, but for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. We start off with a royal rift. In this week's People cover story, we're going inside the separate lives of Prince William and Prince Harry, with one palace insider telling people it was only going to work until they married. Now, despite the royal brothers' very different roles, William is preparing to be a future king. Harry is preparing for first-time fatherhood. Longtime palace staffers had the homogenous idea of the two princes working in tandem. But with the addition of Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle and their growing families, of course, a united foursome doesn't seem feasible anymore. A palace source told People that it did go on, quote, a while longer than perhaps was originally thought. In March, Meghan and Harry officially split from Kate and William, breaking up their joint court at Kensington Palace by creating two separate offices. And in that world, kind of a big deal. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have since moved out of London to Windsor Castle's Frogmore Cottage. It's about 25 miles away. They broke the internet, so to speak, by launching their own popular Instagram page. This was a very big deal. We covered it at length. Just a week later, they have nearly 4.5 million followers and counting, getting the inside look on their Instagram page. Anyway, a household source called the split a shame. They added that there was power in that unity and great strength in the foursome, but they go on to admit they want their own place and their own things, which I personally think makes a whole lot of sense. Another insider tells People that despite the current distance, they will 100% be there for each other and support each other when it matters. Another source close to the royal household, hopeful that the two would come back together later on. That source tells People it's another stage in the growing up. Sometimes you have to break away in order to come back. Stay tuned for a closer look at the separate lives of Prince William and Prince Harry a little later on in the show. Now we move on to this heartbreaking story. Jim Pitson, the father of Timothy Pitson, is speaking out in a brand new exclusive interview with People after a man claiming to be his missing son came forward and it turned out to be a hoax. Pitson thought his nightmare was finally over on April 3rd after 23-year-old Brian Rennie claimed to police that he was the missing boy Timothy Pitson. Rennie reportedly suffers from mental illness and was recently paroled in Ohio after serving prison time for burglary and vandalism. He's currently in jail awaiting his trial, but today Timothy's father, Jim Pitson, is opening up about the waiting game that he's been playing for nearly a decade since his son disappeared. The last time Pitson saw Timothy was when he dropped him off at school. Pitson tells People that Timothy's mother normally did that, but she seemed unusually agitated, so he drove them both in the family Jeep, and it was discovered that 30 minutes later, Amy checked the boy out of school, citing an emergency. 3 days later, on May 14th, Timothy's mother, Amy, was found in a motel room. She had taken her own life and left a chilling note that said Timothy was safe, but that, quote, you will never find him. Pitson tells People when he heard his son may have been discovered, his mind went racing with thoughts of things like re-registering his son for school. He'd now be 14 years old. He thought of things like advising him on how to shave, teaching him how to drive. He said, quote, "I'm going to be getting my son, change my routine, get back into family mode. It's like shift from low gear to high gear. I've got to try to get him stable and back to trusting people." That was his quote at the time. But then that next day, when Jim learned it was all a hoax, he was devastated, of course. For Jim, the news brought back all the overwhelming anguish that he's endured. On April 4th, the day after the hoax was revealed, Timothy's aunt and grandmother spoke to reporters. They said, quote, "It's devastating. It's like reliving that day all over again." His grandmother, Alana, added, "He's a wonderful little boy, and I hope he has the strength of personality to do whatever he needs to do to find us." Jim says he didn't realize how deep his late wife Amy's mental health struggles were, and admits that he wasn't as present in his family's life as much as he wished. He told People in an interview back in 2015 he did not think Amy would kill their son, but he had no idea what she did with their son. Jim moved back to his hometown of Clinton, Iowa, revealing his living in his family home in Aurora. It was too painful for him. He still looks for little kids with blondish, brownish hair, with funny walks, even though he's aware his son would be a teenager by now and probably over 6 feet tall. He hasn't given up, though. He tells People, "My son is still out there somewhere, needing to come home to his family. Eventually, he'll find me." That's his quote. We wish him all the best. In this week's issue of People, the multi-talented Hugh Jackman is opening up about fatherhood, fame, and the secret to his happy marriage to his wife of 23 years, Deborah Lee Furness. And the most important thing for Hugh? Turns out it's honesty. He explains, quote, "People talk about intimacy and assume that means in the bedroom. Of course, it is that, but really, intimacy is being able to share everything together. Good, bad, fears, successes. Deb and I had that from the beginning." The beginning for these two was way back when they married in April of 1996. Hugh has told People in the past that Deborah is his rock, and adds now that they've always been completely themselves with each other. He says everything they do is a partnership, and that goes a long way. The couple also shares 2 kids who are right in the midst of their teen years, a son Oscar, who's 18, and daughter Ava, who is 13. Hugh opens up about being a father and how it's taught him so much, and that it's amazing to just have conversations with his kids as they're inching closer and closer to adulthood. He says it hasn't always been easy. He says, quote, "It took a bit of readjusting. It went from, hey guys, these are the rules, we don't do that," to having to give them reasons why. I feel like I'm already giving reasons why, and I've only got a 7-year-old, so it's going to get worse. These days, Hugh Jackman keeping plenty busy with a voiceover role in the animated movie Missing Link, and his first world tour, The Man, that kicks off in May. But his happiest times are spent at home in New York with Deborah and the kids. He says this, "Going to our country house, lighting a fire, roasting marshmallows is my favorite thing to do." That sounds amazing and like perfectly dreamy. Please take me with you one time. I'm being creepy. All right, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is still the richest man in the world, but following a settlement in his divorce from ex-wife Mackenzie last week, she is now the 3rd richest woman in the world.
Yeah, we're talking a lot of money here. Following their April 4th divorce settlement, Mackenzie exits the marriage with 25% of the couple's Amazon stock worth $36 billion. Yes, billion with a B.
Woo.
That's a lot. They wed in 1994. They did not have a prenup.
Didn't listen to Kanye.
Nope.
We want prenups. This puts Mackenzie Bezos way up in the financial ranks, just behind Walmart heiress Alice Walton, who holds the number 2 spot for richest woman in the world. Her net worth is a reported $45 billion.
And in the number 1 spot, L'Oreal chairwoman Francois Bettencourt Myers. She's worth a whopping $53 billion.
Oof, I can't get over it.
I can't either.
Back to Jeff Bezos and Mackenzie. It's not all about the money, it turns out. The exes are now focusing on being friendly co-parents to their 4 kids. On Thursday, in a statement shared on Twitter, Mackenzie commented on the divorce finally being wrapped up. She wrote, quote, "Grateful to have finished the process of dissolving my marriage with Jeff with support from each other and everyone who reached out to us in kindness. Looking forward to the next phase as co-parents and as friends."
Wow, that's pretty impressive that she was able to write that. Jeff then retweeted her post and wrote one of his own, saying in part, "In all our work together, Mackenzie's abilities have been on full display. She's been an extraordinary partner, ally, and mother. She's resourceful and brilliant and loving. And as our futures unroll, I know I'll always be learning from her." I'm very impressed with how amicable this
I am
seems.
too, but here's the thing. They're business people first.
Yeah.
You know, they're sort of celebrities second by default. I think they, as business people, keep their private stuff bundled up.
They're very smart. They
I think
probably
so.
are able to kind of keep their emotions at bay here,
Yeah.
for the public at least.
I just feel like drama going on with them is going to happen behind closed doors, with the exception of like tabloids getting a hold of it, but they're going to keep it very
And
kind
also,
of like...
who really knows what was going on? Maybe it was very amicable and they were kind of a relief.
Yeah, that's not to insinuate that it's terrible behind the scenes, but I think
Yeah.
the front is always going to be very
Yeah.
put together. Anyway, meanwhile, Bezos' new girlfriend, former TV host Lauren Sanchez, and her husband filed for divorce on April 5th. A source says Bezos and Sanchez are in love, and will openly be together soon.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for that.
And Andrea, you've got more for us in Star Treks.
I do. We are kicking off Star Treks today with a whole new outlook on life. Khloé Kardashian is opening up about motherhood and moving on from her very public and dramatic split with boyfriend Tristan Thompson. Khloé's daughter True turns 1 on April 12th, which to Khloé is a very joyful way to end a tumultuous year, which involved 2 cheating scandals. She has been through a lot. The reality star is now focused on the future. When asked how she stays positive, she tells people life can get really heavy. Not every day is rainbows, but that's real life. It's okay to fail. Just don't let those bad things define you. So like we said, True is turning 1 in just a few days. Can you believe it? Kids grow up so fast. And Khloé tells people it's so special, but it's scary and sad because it goes so fast. Can we slow down time? Khloé also adds that baby True loves being on camera. The two will go to gymboree and art classes together, and True loves when people are staring at her. Well, she's in the right family for that. Khloé is currently focused on her Good American line and season 16 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And from one Kardashian sister to another. In this week's issue of People, Kim Kardashian West is spilling all the secrets to her bold style. She credits her mom, Kris Jenner, and her husband, Kanye West, for her trend-setting aesthetic. But there's no denying Kim is super in tune with the latest fashion herself. So let's break down her biggest fashion inspirations. Starting with this, Kim is all about eye-popping vintage prints. She never shies away from making bold statements and often seeks out striking patterns from past runways. And these are definitely some showstoppers here. If you're wondering which one she likes the most, it's got to be the figure-hugging leopard catsuit. Kim's take, you can't go wrong with a leopard print. She looks great in it. She also credits the glamour of the 90s as one of her biggest inspirations. So Kim often turns to one of the decade's most popular designers, Manfred Thierry Mugler. We're looking at those archival pieces now. Definitely pretty avant-garde there. Wow, those are pretty,
unbelievable,
pretty striking. You may be wondering about that daring black cutout gown that she wore in February. Kim says everyone asked her, how are you not going to pop out? It's our question exactly. She reveals it was tailored exactly to her body, and she didn't even have to be taped in. She says she felt very confident. But with a body like that, yep, you gotta be a little confident.
You got it.
Finally, there's no secret that Kim adores the style of supermodel Naomi Campbell. Over the past couple of years, Kim has been spotted in some of the exact same looks that Naomi slayed back in the 90s. Kim has actually received some backlash for it, but what would today be without backlash? But she has no worries, telling people Naomi is my forever fashion and glam muse. She and I have talked and laughed that it's become a big deal. So at the end of the day, what's Kim's ultimate fashion advice? She says you just have to have fun. Some great advice there. And those are your Star Treks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. The doctor is in. Dr. Sanjay Gupta is here with the secret to a long, healthy life, and he's going to tell us what that is. So stick around. Plus, the GTL guys are here. Pauly D and Vinny G are in search of love. We are here for it 100%. You're going to love this new show. Stick around.
All right, inspired by John Legend and Chrissy Teigen's viral basketball moment on Tuesday night, we've been asking you to send in your favorite John and Chrissy gifts. Let's take a look at what you sent so far.
I knew that was going to be the first one.
Yeah, I know, that's the best one, honestly.
Only one that matters. Chrissy is me Monday through Friday. John
She's
is
the
the weekend.
best at award shows and carpets. She's always having so much fun and live tweeting
and
it.
seemingly effortless, giftable moments, right?
Yeah.
Like it just happens.
Super cute
I
there,
love that.
little
Yeah,
baby
the
bum.
Grammys. Okay, little dance.
Seat dancing. They have a lot of gifts.
They really do.
Sure.
It's kind of endless, and now they've got the new one on courtside.
Yeah.
Keep sending in those favorite gifts. Now we move on to this.
So this week's People Cover story is taking a behind-the-scenes look at the separate lives of Prince William and Prince Harry.
Source close to them tells People that as their work, families, and personalities take them in different directions, the brothers' relationship has come under a bit of a strain.
The source tells People they are both alphas and raised to be leaders. Royal historian Robert Lacey says it makes sense to create separate identities.
Yeah, a member of the royal court says that because the two princes have different futures, the dividing of the courts is a future-proofing exercise. So it's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, so a reminder that Prince William is preparing to one day become king after Queen Elizabeth and his father, Prince Charles. So Harry is sixth in line of succession, so he's probably never going to be king.
Right. Another source tells People that both the princes are at very different places in their lives as well. Harry gearing up to welcome his first child, of course, and that changes everything.
Yeah, that's a whole new world when you do that.
Yeah.
And many royal staffers and insiders are not happy about the royal Fab Four's breakup, but royal historian Robert Lacey says it's very important for Harry and Meghan to flower and create a new direction.
I completely understand
Yeah,
this.
I do too.
As we're talking about it, I'm kind of like, I love my sister. I wouldn't want to live in the same house with her and her whole family. You know
No,
what I mean?
I mean, I'd live with my sister if we were both single, but then when you have significant others, I think it gets a little weird.
Healthy for the relationships to kind of like have your space, have your lane, do your
Yeah,
thing without
I get
always
it.
having to. Anyway, multiple sources tell People that there has been deep tension between the brothers since Prince Harry told the family that he wanted to marry Meghan Markle.
William cautioned Harry that he was moving too quickly. This left Harry angry and hurt, according to those sources, of course.
Yeah, of course, the brothers still attend official events together. It's not like they seemingly hate each other. They don't. Palace insiders are still hopeful that the brothers will come back together later, maybe work a little closer together.
Yeah, and sources do tell People that the two are still 100% there for each other when it really matters.
Look, they're family. This
Yeah.
is the kind of families go through things, right? The two were very close growing up. They were seen often with their mother, Princess Diana, especially in the wake of her death in 1997. The brothers relied really heavily on each other for support, and they've opened up a lot about that.
Yeah, and those who know the brothers say that the current distance between them will not last. And I mean, I think, look, they're kind of separating because they have to. There's a baby coming, so it makes a lot of sense to
We're
me.
still going to be seeing lots of pictures of all the kids together and the big
Yeah.
family events and stuff like that. All right, let's move on to this.
Yeah, since the day that news broke about the high-profile college admissions cheating scandal, the question has remained, will actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin, who are allegedly involved in that scandal, spend any time in jail?
By the way, take a minute. Can you believe we're even talking about them possibly going to jail? Isn't this shocking?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
If the feds get what they want, though, both of them will go to jail. Prosecutors want jail time for both actresses, according to this source close to the investigation.
Yeah, the source goes on to tell People they want to send a clear message, and that message includes jail time. Prosecutors know this is a high-profile case. They want to make an example of the defendant.
Oof. On March 12th, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Massachusetts announced that it had charged 50 people, including Huffman and Loughlin, in that cheating scandal. A lot of people involved in this. They are among the most high-profile, so they're getting all
I mean,
the
if
headlines.
they want to make an example of this is the time to do it. On Monday, Huffman agreed to plead guilty, released an official statement saying in part, I am in full acceptance of my guilt, and with deep regret and shame over what I have done, I accept full responsibility for my actions and will accept the consequences that stem from those actions.
Huffman also said in that statement that her daughter knew nothing about this and that she betrayed her daughter in what she calls her, quote, misguided and profoundly wrong way.
Your daughter just thought she did really well on the quiz or on the
And
test.
Huffman also said that she'll carry this with her the rest of her life. Obviously, and her daughter now will too.
Yeah, she's also apologized to her family and friends, especially to the students who work hard every day to get into college and their parents who make tremendous sacrifices.
Huffman allegedly paid $15,000, if you don't remember, to admissions consultant William Rick Singer and his nonprofit organization Key Worldwide Foundation, which prosecutors said was actually a front for accepting bribes. Singer then allegedly facilitated cheating on Huffman's daughter's SAT test by having a proctor correct the teen's answers after the fact.
So that's actually seemingly correct, that her daughter didn't actually know that this was going on.
Which makes me feel, if that's true, it makes me feel even worse for her
Well,
that this would sort of be dropped on her
daughter,
suddenly.
yeah. As Huffman decided to plead guilty, the United States attorney calculated her offense level at 9, which has a sentencing guideline of 4 to 10 months per the Department of Justice chart.
So according to the plea documents obtained by People, Huffman reserves the right to argue that her offense level should be 7, which would result in 0 to 6 months in prison. It's just different criteria here for the length of time
And
possible in prison.
additionally, Huffman would serve 12 months of probation and pay a $20,000 fine.
The prosecution agrees to argue that Huffman served on the low end of the sentencing guidelines, meaning that there's a possibility she could serve just a few months. So we'll see how that plays out.
Now, despite the fact that two women were charged at the same time, their cases are markedly different here. So from the start, Loughlin has faced more jail time than Huffman.
Yeah, Loughlin has not yet admitted to any guilt, rejected a plea deal. Things got worse for her on Tuesday when she and her husband, Massimo Giannulli, were among 16 parents indicted on additional felony charges of money laundering conspiracy.
Yeah, she's charged with money laundering for allegedly funneling money through a fake charity. Loughlin and her husband paid approximately $500,000 in bribes to falsely designate their daughters as recruits to the USC crew team, despite the fact that they did not participate in crew. That's the most mind-blowing thing of all of this for me.
I want to see the pictures.
I know.
The alleged pictures. The amount of money involved in the case means that her offense level would be much higher than Huffman's, and additionally, Huffman's decision to plead guilty lowered her offense level. In the absence of a plea deal, Loughlin's penalty will be significantly higher. So that's kind of how this is all shaken out.
Now, officially, she faces up to 40 years in prison for the charges against her. Wow. But if she's found guilty and her sentencing is consistent with the other defendants, she will likely face closer to 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, legal experts tell People that the actress may be doing herself a disservice with her public demeanor.
Was it a lot different than how Felicity Huffman is handling this? While the actress has been in good spirits in public, sources tell People that, it's a little different behind closed doors.
Yeah, according to a source, she's embarrassed. She's also really stressed out. Not surprised to hear that. A source close to her tells People that she's been going to yoga, she's been going to Pilates, seeing friends for lunch, and relying heavily on her faith to get her through all this. it's impossible to imagine the fallout and how you deal with it.
I mean, I'm very curious to see what the actual sentencing is, so we'll keep you posted. All right. So you may have caught our show a couple months ago when we took a look at Bruce Willis's gorgeous Westchester, New York mansion that was up for sale. Bruce put that on the market when he and his wife, Emma Hemming, decided to head out to the West Coast to be closer to their family. Apparently, the couple isn't done listing just yet.
Nope. Willis and his wife, Emma, have listed their huge Turks and Caicos home. Look at this. So beautiful. They were actually wed there in 2009. Renewed their vows there in March.
Beautiful. So the mansion boasts 11 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, and 1,100 feet of beachfront. Can you imagine?
Sounds okay.
And it's all yours for a cool $33 million.
The home's living room has beautiful oceanfront views, perfect for fine dining while looking out at the beach. Cozy game night, maybe a few of the friends over in the tropics.
I still can't get over the 14 bathrooms. One of them actually has a soaking tub and an outdoor shower.
Love the outdoor shower.
I mean, 14 bathrooms, you could spend a day in the bathroom, or each bathroom for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, doing the math. Okay, yeah, 14, 7. Oh, got it. The master suite, maybe even more lavish. It takes up the whole second floor. Property also includes 2 guest villas and 4 pools. This is basically a resort.
Yeah, it's listed by Turks and Caicos, Sotheby's International Realty. If you want to look that up,
if you're interested,
and have that
put in your bids now.
But we can't forget about the couple's other big bug listings. Westchester, New York mansion is still on sale for $12.95 million.
An Idaho ranch as well, sold in October in 2018 for nearly $5.5 million. Which would you choose?
Ooh, Idaho ranch. But I don't know what I would do in Idaho for work.
You just hang out at that ranch.
But if I had that money, I probably wouldn't really.
Yeah, you just take a bunch of people with you.
Yeah,
have so much fun on a ranch. All right, and now we move on to this. Watch.
All right, the countdown to The Lion King is officially on. So in case you haven't heard, the 1994 Disney animated classic we all love is getting a reboot.
Yeah, we've already watched the short teaser trailer about a million times around here.
Good.
Loving it. Trying to pick out all the famous voices in the cast. It is going to be epic. Of course, Beyonce, which everyone's been talking about. Donald Glover, Alfre Woodard, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Jeremy Irons, Shahadi Wright-Joseph, John Oliver, James Earl Jones, Billy Eichner, Seth Rogen, who's not in the movie.
I mean, it's an amazing cast of voices here. In honor of 100 days until the live-action movie hits theaters, Disney dropped the first full-length trailer on Wednesday, so sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Life's not fair, is it, my little friend? While some are born to feast, others spend their lives in the dark. Begging for scraps.
Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. While others search for what they can take, a true king searches for what he can give.
Run away, Simba, and never return.
Take your place in the circle of life.
Chasing life is an opportunity for us to travel the world looking for extraordinary health practices, experiencing them ourselves. That's my job. That's chasing life.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta has quite the gig with his brand new series that is about to premiere on CNN. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're officially very jealous.
What a cool series.
I felt very privileged to be able to do it. I mean, you get to travel the world and really, you know, a lot of times when you go to these places as a tourist, you're doing touristy things. Here I got to, the whole point was to really immerse myself in the life of the people that I was visiting, and it was amazing.
Wow, what a learning experience.
And you came up with a series from your traveling and finding out that people were living these long lives all over the world. Is there one magic secret that we're going to find out when watching this?
Yes, I think that there's little things that I think you can apply into your life. You know, certainly, you know, the way that I eat, the way that I move, the way I think about fitness, all that I think has been influenced because we do things very different in the United States compared to other places around the world. Safe to say we're not designed as humans to sit or lie for 23 hours a day and then get up for an hour a day. That's just not how people around the world move. But I think one of the big things that really struck me was the just how much being social and living in a social environment makes a difference with our body and our brains in terms of how we heal.
Yeah.
And you break this down, you travel to 6 countries. We're going to kind of list these and give a reason for each of them. We're talking Bolivia, Japan, Turkey, India, Italy, and Norway.
Yes.
Let's break these down.
Yeah, let's start with, are Italians happy because of the great food? Is that what it is?
No question. Yeah, I mean, and Italy's the healthiest country in the world. They smoke, they eat a lot of food, they drink. They're not really known for exercise, and yet they're the healthiest country in the world. It really raises a lot of questions. All the things that we think are important, it's not that they're not important, but are we ignoring other things? There's a reason Italians are so healthy, and I think a lot of it has to do with their socialization, how they spend time with each other, just the joy of life.
It's so interesting though, because you think of Italy and it's very like heavy dishes and heavy
Yes.
food, but yet here in America sometimes we're so strict on that, but yet they're healthier, you say.
Yeah, and I think part of it is the types of foods as well. I mean, we focus a lot on calories, but the idea that if you're eating fresh foods that are non-processed, non-refined, all those chemicals have an impact on how our bodies absorb calories. You can eat the same exact food in Italy as you eat here. Same exact food, same pasta dishes.
Yeah.
It'll affect you differently.
Well, our executive producer, Jenny, is Italian. I think it's the wine. That's why she's so happy. I can tell. I feel it.
Yeah, that's part of the joy.
Okay.
That's right.
Let's talk about this. Norway, known as the land of the midnight sun, long days, things like that. That probably affects things, I would imagine, in a positive way.
And the happiest country in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 270 miles north of the Arctic Circle. They're plunged into darkness for months out of the year, and yet they're the happiest country in the world. And it really got at this idea that, look, you could live on a beach like in Bruce Willis's mansion, your whole life, and you probably have a general level of happiness. But if you live in an environment where you constantly have challenges, you have to overcome things. If your goal is, I want to have supreme joy at least part of my day, and then you have ups and downs like everyone does, you're more likely to find it in a place like Norway rather than the sameness in a place, just a beachfront town.
Sure.
Which I found interesting. So they're happy not despite their environment, but because of it in some ways.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
and it is the opposite, the counterintuitive to what, just as you said.
Man, talking about this just makes me want to travel right now.
I know.
Let's talk about Japan. So cherry blossoms in full bloom here. But this was a really interesting study that CNN just put out. 1 in 4 Japanese adults in their 20s and 30s are still virgins. So why are they not having
such
more
a
sex?
repressed culture? They hardly talk about things. There's a lot of stigma around talking about things. It's a very traditional culture that way. Japan, the mainland, also one of the most stressed places in the world.
Right, we were going to talk about that, and then they have these owl cafes, right?
Yeah.
We actually have a quick look. Let's take a look at the owl cafes. We'll talk about this.
These are raptors. These cute little guys will rip your eyes out if they could.
Somehow, they're supposed to melt away your stress.
Like this? Okay. He's tied to me. Great.
Gaia.
Her name is Gaia?
Gaia.
Okay. Gaia. Be nice, Gaia. Perhaps the owl is really cute, and therefore it's supposed to relieve your stress. All I see is a bird of prey. Ah, Jesus Christ. It's not relaxing at all.
I think I'm with you on that one, yeah.
How does this relax you? Please walk me through this.
Well, if you have the most stressed country in the world, you find that what happens is that it evolves into all these sort of stress-relieving strategies. They have adult swaddling. They do this cry therapy.
Yeah.
They have rage rooms. You've heard of the rage rooms?
Yeah.
You just go in there and you break things.
New York has some of those now, so they
Yeah.
probably got that
They
from.
maybe got it from Japan.
Yeah.
But the Owl Cafe is supposed to relax people as well. But as I learned, and I think is true, not everything works for everybody. Like birds really kind of creep me out a bit, so that's not going to relax me.
Yeah, for each person, maybe a different thing.
How did it even come to be? I mean, how did it become so popular?
I think, you're just living in a place that's so stressed, and I think automatically people start to think, well, how can we come up with ways within the city of Tokyo or big cities to try and relieve people's stress, even for a few minutes, go in there and petting owls, whatever it might be, finding that time where you feel like stress is not the problem, right? We all need stress. It's being able to get a relief of it for even a few minutes a day. And I think that's why these things are starting to become popular.
Petting cats does it for me.
Yeah, I'm not
They
sure.
have
The
those too.
owls, I'm
They have
not
those too.
sure. about.
Let's talk about this, though. You talk about Norway being a little scary because the folks value hypothermia.
Yes.
Which I think is pretty bizarre. Jumping into Nordic water.
Yes.
Talk to us about that, the benefits, the feeling, the misery.
Part of the misery, right? I mean, when you jump into water that's that cold, I mean, it really is like thousands of blades sort of poking you, and then you have a diving reflex, so your heart rate actually starts to drop, and you feel like you're getting sleepy right away when you're in the water, which is a little frightening. But some of this has happened because that's the environment they live in. They had to take care of fishermen, for example, who fell into the water, and they had to learn how hypothermia affects the body. Part of it, again, and these polar bear plunges around the world and stuff, is just this idea of taking on a challenge and overcoming it. Like, again, if you want supreme happiness, the idea that you've taken on a challenge and you've overcome it will give you a different level of happiness than you can get in just about any other aspect of your life.
I will say, I did something kind of like that
Did
once.
you do a
And-
polar
and-
bear
yeah,
plunge?
yeah, and it was miserable, but there was something unifying, at least from the people that did it
Yeah,
together.
right.
So there's that sense of camaraderie that you're miserable together, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I talked about it with the other people who had done it. It was like these deep conversations, like, why'd you do it? What'd you get out of it? Did it change you? Was it spiritual? You know, you don't have these conversations with people. Typically, even with your friends, they're very routine conversations. I've had some of the deepest conversations and relationships with people in these really unusual, sometimes very challenging situations.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of a bonding experience.
Yeah.
Also, no pain, no gain. You know, that's a real thing.
That's right. You've made it much more succinct.
You do all these really cool things. What local tradition or practices surprise you the most with the results?
I think in India, you know, and I think being Indian, I was really curious. There's been a lot of home remedies in my house. And my parents are not doctors, but it was kind of like the scene from My Big Fat Greek Wedding with the Windex.
Right, yeah.
Cure everything from psoriasis to poison ivy. It was a lot of those traditions, I think, with the Ayurvedic massage and the Ayurvedic diet that I got to experience. I did this Kalari massage when I was over there, where it's literally someone who's standing on you. It's foot pressure instead of hand pressure.
I think I would like
And
that.
there was one.
It was
there
intense.
There was another thing you did. You got acupuncture from a blind man, right?
Yes. This is fascinating. I did not know this at all, but blind acupuncturists are a thing in Japan. And the belief is that, you know, we all have these trains of energy called ki that is going through our body. Can't see it, but if you're blind, you know, they say that they can feel it, and they'll see where the ki is sort of disrupted in your body, and that's where they'll put the needles in. And it was very hard to make sense of that. I'm a neurosurgeon. That's how I was trained. But I'll tell you, right away, this blind acupuncturist zeroed in on areas of my body that hurt, put these needles in. He put a 5-centimeter needle into my neck, which was a little scary. Yeah. But you know, it seemed to work for me.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. That the sensibilities of the blind person doing that to you would be maybe more dialed into that.
Yeah, you like.
It's an interesting.
You increase
concept,
other senses. Are you able to feel things that you otherwise wouldn't?
Let's talk about this though. Oh my goodness, people tend to Google. Maybe I'm talking about myself here. Medical questions, right?
Yes.
Instead of going to the doctor. Worst thing you can do.
It's really bad.
Work yourself into a frenzy. Maybe a bit of a spiral. Again, a friend of mine. Let's give folks some real answers.
Okay.
We got a little segment called Creatively. The doctor is in.
I love it.
All right. So let's talk about some of these things. First up, the keto diet. Pros, cons. Are you for the keto diet?
I think the keto diet, you can lose a lot of weight, and you can do it pretty quickly. The idea is that you're putting your body into a state of ketosis. That's why it has its name. You're not eating any sugar. You're not eating any carbs. You're mainly eating fat, and that changes. So you will lose weight. The problem is, first of all, it's very hard to sustain. So it'll usually be a few weeks, and a lot of that weight that you lose is water weight. Two is, like, I have a strong family history of heart disease. If you're worried about that sort of stuff, this is probably not the diet for you, because you know you are eating a lot of fat, and that's the concern.
All right, drinking alcohol, good or bad?
That's a tough one, you know. I mean, that's a true pros cons sort of question.
Because you'll hear articles, oh, drinking wine a day,
People say wine,
more healthy, or
I
whatever.
don't think anyone's defending.
And it feels
vodka,
like a
though.
flip-flop. No, vodka's not. Yeah, but there was a study that came out recently, which you may have seen, that basically said there is not any safe amount of alcohol to be drinking. Now, I think the conventional wisdom has been it can be good for your health. A glass of wine could help with heart health.
Sure.
I think what I took out of all this is that I think it's okay to drink occasionally. Don't drink to the point of intoxication. But if you're doing it for your health, that's probably not a good enough reason.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. That makes sense.
All right, let's talk about the CBD. So it's getting very popular, even used to treat things like Parkinson's and epilepsy. So what are your thoughts on CBD?
Look, I have a lot of thoughts on this. I've done tons of films on this particular issue. I think that it can be a legitimate medicine. I think that in this country for too long, it's been pretty stigmatized. I think from a governmental policy standpoint, from a cultural attitude standpoint, and you travel outside the world and you see what CBD can do. Not only do I think it can work, I think it can work sometimes when nothing else has worked. So there's gonna be a lot of claims out there. You gotta be careful with those claims. But I think underneath all that is a potentially legitimate medicine.
Last one quickly, concussions, very serious. We see it in athletes, we see it even in high school kids and all the way up through there. How dangerous is a concussion? Because it seems so common, it's just kind of like,
a concussion is a brain injury.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we probably shouldn't even use the term concussion because I think in some ways it minimizes it, right? I got my bell rang, people.
No, exactly.
It's a brain injury. If you get a brain injury and then you get another brain injury before your brain is healed, that can be really serious, even deadly. But I think we know more now that if you get concussions and especially repeated blows to the head, it can lead to long-term problems. It can lead to an early Alzheimer's-like disease, and we see it in football players. So I think there's really no rationale to engage in something that can potentially give you repeated brain injuries.
Yeah, get it checked out if you
Thank
feel
you for all
weird.
this.
Yeah,
I wish
good
I
to
had you
talk to
on speed dial instead of always doing like
All right, give me my number. Call me anytime. Yes.
All right, make sure to catch Chasing Life on CNN, premiering Saturday, April 13th. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, thank you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
In the 16 years since the debut of The Bachelorette, there have been plenty of tears, plenty of drama, and yes, plenty of roses.
For most former Bachelorettes, their collective journeys have brought more joy than heartache overall. 12 of the leading ladies united for a 2-hour TV special. It airs May 6th on ABC.
I love that they did this. You got alums Trista Sutter, Deanna Stagliano, Jillian Harris, Ali Fedotowsky, Ashley Rosenbaum, Emily Maynard, Desiree, Andy, Caitlin Bristow, JoJo, Rachel Lindsay, Becca Kufrin. They all showed up.
Whole crew, what a great pack this is. Many of these ladies already keep up with each other despite being spread all across the country. Ali Fedotowsky-Mano says, even though we're all different ages, we're all friends, we're like sisters, and it's really cool.
I think it's really nice to see them have this bond from this very unique experience not everyone gets to go through. Becca Kufrin, who found love with her fiance Garrett on the show in 2018, tells people this. She says, one of the best things is the love and support we get from the fans. They want everyone to succeed and be happy, and that's really great to see, not just for me, but for everyone who comes after me.
I'm glad she had a good experience because not all fans are that nice about it. Emily Maynard, who married Tyler Johnson in 2014, just 2 years after her season opened up, about how grateful she is for the show. She said this, if I hadn't had the Bachelorette experience, I don't think I would have been prepared to meet and marry my husband. I have a clear vision of what I want, and I know that my purpose on earth is to be a mom.
Oh, probably a lot of self-reflection if you go on that show.
Yeah, for
Even
sure.
though not everyone had a fairy tale ending, most are still very happy they got the opportunity. Jillian Harris, who split with her fiance Ed after their season aired in 2009, says this. She says, I didn't end up with the guy that I picked, but I don't have any regrets.
Yeah, Harris is now a happily engaged mom of 2. She went on to say, people associate The Bachelor and The Bachelorette with being fake, but the most real I've ever been was on this show, 100%.
Wow. I don't think everyone would say that.
No.
Yeah, with the cameras in your face, I don't know. JoJo Fletcher, who's engaged to her pick, Jordan Rogers, says, my life has changed completely since the show. I've grown immensely as a person and as a woman, and I will forever be grateful for that. Well, really nice to see them all together. And from a bunch of bachelorettes to 2 famous bachelors, take a look at this.
Will you accept these bros?
I am obsessed. 2 of her favorite Jersey Shore stars are finding love on their new dating show, A Double Shot of Love with DJ Pauly D and Vinny.
Yeah, please welcome back 2 people now, DJ Pauly D and Vinny G. Good to see you guys.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
I can't wait to talk about this show. I'm obsessed with it.
Just set the DVR now, because it's
Before
so
we
good.
get into the show, last time you were here with the whole cast of Jersey Shore. We want to get an update on Mike, the situation. He's been in prison since early January. How's he doing?
Good. We speak to him every day.
Yeah.
Every day?
we
There's
have
a
app.
way we can email with him, and he's like the same positive. He gets me through my day.
Really?
Yeah, and he's the one in prison, and I'm the miserable one
He's in
out
really
here.
good spirits. He gets to see his wife once a week. It's not a bad deal.
That's
Yeah.
great. What's keeping him going? Is he just the connection
Just
outside?
the fact that when he comes out, he's coming home to his wife. They just got married. He's coming home to a job. We're still filming, so he's happy.
He
Yeah.
worked
To get it over
hard.
with.
You know, his recovery, what he's been doing the last all these years from recovering from substances, it really he worked really hard to be to have this mental strength that he has today. So even this is nothing to him.
Yeah, that's
Almost
really
like
good
the
to hear.
final piece of the whole thing. All right, let's
Yeah.
talk about this. Your own dating show. Were you guys fans of dating shows leading in? Do you watch The Bachelor?
I did. I
Yeah?
was a big Bachelor fan. I used to
Okay.
tweet Bachelor Nation, the whole thing, and people used to always say to me, you're gonna be the Bachelor one day. I'm like, I can't be the Bachelor. Look at me. I'm like, I'll have my own crazy ratchet version one day.
And here it
We
is.
are. Will you accept these bros?
Yeah, so in what ways is this completely different from The Bachelor?
Well, we're actually living in the house with 20 women. So in The Bachelor, I don't think they live with
No, they don't, right.
We live with them. We have the reality aspect. We film 24/7. And then we also have a challenge aspect. The girls have challenges, we have challenges, an elimination process as well.
It's like everything you love from Jersey Shore and The Bachelor combined, mixed with like the challenge, because we have all these challenges we do.
Yeah, talking about the challenges, you had them come out and do, it was like a special skill kind of thing in the beginning. If you guys had to do that, what would your special skill be?
Yours would be, you know,
DJ.
Yeah, DJ. I would maybe do a little stand-up.
Yeah?
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little stand-up.
Have you done stand-up before?
Yep.
Oh, my
like
goodness.
Improv, stand-up a little
Okay.
bit. So.
All right. One of the things I loved about it is you guys kind of talk, you're kind of like sharing what you think about the other women and things like that. Is there a strategy into kind of like, hey, will you not eliminate this girl because she might be interested for me or whatever?
Yeah, we had to actually take into consideration, you know, who he liked and who I liked, because if he doesn't like someone, you know, it doesn't mean that she's not going to stay.
Like if I knew right off the bat, all right, this girl's definitely not going to work for me, but I'm not going to let her go because she might work for him. So we had to talk about that.
But there's only limited space,
Right.
so we'd get to a certain point where it's like, yo, do you really like her? Because I want to keep this one.
And let's talk about this. Do you have different types? What are you both looking for in a partner?
I think we do. We do and we don't.
How's it different?
Physically, I think
like
we
the same.
we do.
Yeah.
You know?
What's that?
I don't know. How can I?
How do I say this?
Describe it. But yeah, I mean, I like someone who is successful and like is confident and doesn't really need me for anything. So I know that she's not using me for anything. So like a career-driven woman.
I like positive vibes. I'm attracted to a positive vibe, like a nice person that's nice to other people, be nice to me. Believe it or not, it sounds easy. It's hard to find nowadays.
Yeah.
That's really
no,
true.
that's true.
A
Like
lot
not
of people are
cynical.
I know.
Yeah.
So those are kind of your turn-ons. I want to know, what's your biggest turn-off? It would be a deal breaker.
Biggest turn off.
Rudeness. It turns me off right off the bat. She could be hot. Doesn't matter if she's rude. It turns me off.
Same. It makes her ugly.
That kind of goes with the positivity, right? Like be a nice person, be a positive person.
Yeah.
Pauly, what kind of person do you want to see Vinny with?
I want to see him with somebody that his mother will approve.
Because we know you're really close with your mom.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, and how about
She
for
might
you?
be making an appearance.
Oh, your mom might?
She won't let me go anywhere without her popping up. Come on.
Real quick, what's your mom looking for you?
My mom, like, I can do no wrong in my mom's eyes. Like, she trusts me too. If I say I like this person, she'll know that I vetted them out. You know, so she just wants me to be happy.
Probably hard for her to be won over, I would imagine, by a woman.
And she doesn't expect like anyone to fill her shoes, like, because no one's gonna cook as good as her. You know, so that's not happening. She's probably gonna always do my laundry the rest of my life.
Wow, nice.
She does your laundry even to
She still does my laundry, yeah.
Oh,
nice
my
setup.
gosh.
I tried to take it to a place, and I was like, this smells like chemicals. Get away from me.
Now, what about for you? Who do you want to see Pauly D with? What type?
I would love to see him with again, same thing, that doesn't really need him. So maybe like someone that's on his level, that like is in the industry, someone that like understands his lifestyle. Because he has a really different lifestyle.
Yeah, you maybe need someone in the business too, with all your traveling and everything that gets it.
Yeah.
That's gotta be hard.
And that's okay with Vegas and clubs and
Yeah.
that environment.
Exactly.
What parts of the Jersey Shore will audience see in this show? We saw the tanning bed.
The cast. You'll see
The duck phone makes an appearance.
We don't go anywhere without our roommate, so you know they're gonna be they're gonna.
Yeah, well, besides you guys, is the rest of the cast gonna make an appearance? Are they gonna stop by? That's fun.
Yeah.
You know that they're not gonna.
They're part of our
They're
life,
our big
so
sisters.
If you're gonna date us, you have to deal with them too.
Who's the toughest when it comes to winning over?
Jamie.
That's not surprising. Watching this and then even talking to you guys now, it seems like you're 100% on board for this. When this first came up as an option from MTV or whatever the show's pitched, was this an automatic yes?
It was for me. Yeah, because they said it was gonna do with him too. I was like, oh, who better to do it with than my best friend?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do a dating show anyway, so why not do it with?
I wanted to do a dating show, and I wanted to do a show with Pauly.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah.
But we were even mentioning before, you were a little shy. We see this in the show. Like, it's funny to me to think of this, that you're worried that they wouldn't know who you were or something.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, everybody knows who you are, but
Not necessarily.
But you have that feeling.
Yes and no. I mean, like I said, they didn't know who the celebrity was gonna be. So, and I'm not like the flashiest, most extroverted person. So me coming down there, but I knew it was a prank too. So I was like, just hyping myself up, like it'll all work out in the end. But I'm not good at being like the center of attention anyway, in general.
Yeah, that would be my biggest fear is walking down. They're like, oh, that.
Too bad. That's too bad.
And they turn around and run up the
But they
door.
were very excited to
Jump in
see
the
you
pool.
guys. You could tell from their reaction.
Yeah,
They're really
for sure.
excited. Talk to me about the elimination process, because I think it's really cute, the spin you guys have.
Well, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
The prank.
No, well, the
How
prank.
you say goodbye to them.
How we say goodbye.
Gotcha.
The ceremony.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we have we don't have a rose ceremony. We have a cab ceremony. So in the past, what did you used to say
Normally,
to get girls
I'm
out of the
used to on
house?
a Jersey Shore yelling. I'm like, your cab is here, like yelling, cabs are here. But on this one, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I'm like, Vinny, your cab is here. Like, it's a bit more formal because I don't want to. It was hard. Eliminations for me were difficult.
Yeah.
Saying
A real
goodbye to these
yellow-
girls
a
that
real
we're actually
yellow cab
investing in.
comes.
We're getting to know these. In the beginning, it was sort of easy because you're vetting out the ones that are there for just for TV.
Yeah.
You know, we get rid of those, and then as we get deeper onto the process, we're building real connections.
Yeah, who gets the most emotional during the season between the two of you?
Oh man.
Or riled up?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely did. Like, I had trouble with a couple of the eliminations because,
Yeah.
like, not trouble where I was like couldn't hold it together, but internally, like, you do like people, and you don't know if you're sending home the wrong one.
Yeah.
And you only you have to make a decision. So a couple times I was like, damn. And I didn't think I was gonna be at that.
Me too.
At that level.
It's mind-blowing to hear you guys talking like people from The Bachelor. I just
I
love it.
know.
Like, I just love it.
know.
Was it her? Was this the right
Emotions,
one?
yeah.
Give them
And
a lot
look,
of credit now.
one of the yeah, right. Just to get through it, one of the things that stands out that is maybe distinctly different from like The Bachelor is these girls are really drinking, and I'm talking like they are hammered.
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously that's all around. Vinny though, did the drinking, the partying, everything going on, did it affect your keto diet? Because I know you've been doing
It
that.
always does, man. I mean, I'm still the keto Guido, but when we film for a couple weeks, I do like 80% of the time.
Okay.
But I crack, and then he like loves it every
Yeah,
time.
it's a
he's like,
movie.
he's eating a carb, he's eating a carb, he's eating a carb.
Because once he starts,
Yeah,
you
I can't- I
stop.
can't.
What's been the toughest part for you in the keto thing? Toughest part and then easiest part?
Honestly, that like filming just throughout the day, you know, because I don't have like always like a keto option for me.
Yeah.
And then
You're
they
out of
come
your
in.
routine.
I'm out of my routine, and then they come in at the end of the night. I didn't eat all day, and they bring in like 5 boxes of pizza. And
yeah.
I'm just like,
Oh,
and I'm
gosh.
human, and I love pizza, so I'm like, F it, let me just eat a
Yeah.
slice, you know?
It's hard
Chill
with the
cheat
drinking
day.
temptations too. All right, we're gonna play a little game we like to call a sure thing
Here we
or
go.
a sure fling.
Okay.
Ready?
Here we go.
So we're gonna show you guys some famous women. You have to say if they're a sure thing or a sure fling.
Sure fling is like date, friends, hang out for a while, that type of thing. Sure thing, more like marriage life.
Wifey.
Long haul, kids, the whole thing,
All
all
right,
right?
ready? First up, Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, she's
Sure
super hot.
thing or a sure fling?
Sure thing.
I know you know who these people are, so
Yeah,
I'm
she's
gonna go
You like
Pauly on
Lala,
that.
Pauly?
hot, yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, we love Anna Kendrick. Here she is. What do we think? Sure thing, sure fling?
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super talented.
Yeah, she's
So funny.
entertaining, She's
wifey
very
type.
talented.
Yeah, can sing, can act. Oh, hell yeah.
All right, Ava Mendes is next.
All day
Sure.
long.
Hey.
So far, racking them
Come
up.
on, make this
yeah.
challenging.
Next up, Oscar winner, Natalie Portman.
Sure thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your type is successful, attractive women.
Yeah.
This is easy.
What's not to love?
Harvard, didn't
Okay, what about Kourtney Kardashian? Sure thing?
I like
Fling?
her too.
She's a
Cast in a wide net.
Done this.
Finally, Angelina Jolie. Sure thing, sure fling.
All day long. Sure.
Sure
It's a
thing.
hard thing.
We didn't make this
I
challenging at
know,
all,
we
did
didn't make this
This
very
is easy.
challenging.
Sure thing or sure
Who
thing?
can we say? I'm trying to think of someone off the
I
cuff
know.
here. JWoww. Sure thing. I don't know. All right. Guys, thanks for playing.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk about this, though. DJ Pauly D, new song.
Yes.
Tell us about that. What's coming?
Oh, it's called Silver and Gold. I just released it. It's by my artist James K. He's amazing on the song. It's one of my best songs I put out. Yeah, it's a hip hop track. It's got a trap feel beat. I love it, and it's working in the clubs.
Okay,
And-
and Vinny,
So,
you're going to be
yeah.
joining the Chippendales
Woo!
in Vegas, please.
Look out.
Tell us
Yes.
about this.
April 26th to May 26th, I'm doing a guest hosting spot where I am the host, and I might take off my shirt. I don't know.
You're going to probably do a little strip down, right?
You don't have to. Like I'm the host, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Pauly,
Yeah.
you making an
You know what I
appearance?
mean?
You gonna show up and
Absolutely. I
watch
wouldn't
this?
miss it. I would
Yeah,
not miss
right.
I
it.
mean,
Could
do
be
you
on Facebook
have,
Live.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
have a go-to like strip tease thing? Like, have you practiced? And did you want to do it on?
I don't
Air?
think I'm gonna be doing any like the air humping or anything.
Okay.
But like I like doing an activity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, cause it's like a show. So like they'll just like take a shower in the middle of the stage. There's like no dancing involved.
Yeah, it's
But
like this performance art thing or
Yeah,
something.
but these girls are still like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So
Pauly, have you ever done anything like that?
No.
Would you?
just in front of me.
I don't know. Maybe.
All right, you guys,
happens.
thank you so much for stopping
No problem.
by.
Thank you guys.
You
for
guys,
watching.
a double shot at love with DJ Pauly D and Vinny premieres April 11th at 8 p.m. on MTV. Make sure to check it out.
All right, coming up tomorrow, guys, Jamie King is here talking about her terrifying new zombie show on Netflix. It's called Black Summer.
Plus, Meghan Markle is due to give birth any day now, so we're talking superstitions and myths surrounding pregnancy and guessing the sex of her future baby. I bet our guess is going to be great. Jeremy.
50-50 chance.
Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing. hearing from Criminal Minds star Matthew Gray Gubler. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hello, I am Matthew Gray Gubler, and this is One Last Thing. The last show I binge watched, Night Court, on DVD. The weirdest thing in my house, a Night Court DVD. The last song stuck in my head, theme song to Night Court. I'm just joking. Last song was truly 99 Off Love Balloons. You know the song I'm singing about? Anyway, the song about the balloons.